Hi, I'm Lori-Lynn, and welcome to my channel. I am Spirit Within Us. I am the High Priestess, and I have known that pretty much my entire life. I've been receiving messages from Spirit since as long back and far back as I can remember, and I absolutely love what I do. It's taken me many, many years to understand and to learn how to hone and use my gift, my personal gift. And so I do know that I am meant to share it with a large group of people. I have been guided that way. This part of it, I've kind of been delayed in doing it, and there's been no other reason until I just know when I'm ready and it's time to move forward. So I'm going to start off by saying that there are actually two basic colors in today. So part of what I do is that I choose colors very specifically. And I know it might sound a little crazy, but it's very specific in what I do. And I do it just based on my intuition. I follow my intuition. So let me kind of take a step back and let you know that we often talk to people about our intuition, or we say, listen to our gut, listen to our gut. And that's wrong. And I'm not putting anybody else down, but it's a misunderstanding or misinterpretation. And it's because the feelings are similar. But what it is that your intuition sits in your solar plexus, and your solar plexus is right just below the breastbone, and that's where your solar plexus sits. Now, about 4 fingers below that is your sacral chakra, and your sacral chakra is your gut. Your sacral chakra is in reference to relationships. So typically when, it's about your gut, it's in regards to a relationship, and very much can be tied to the past lives, past, memories of being a childhood. That's where our gut sits. And our gut is typically filled with fear. And it's not based in knowing. That's what your intuition is, a strict and solid. It just knows. There's no rhyme nor reason, and it creeps up and it stops you. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't listen to our gut, because our gut is super, super important to listen to. But what it is a reference, and it's a guide to say, that happened in the past. What can I do to change or make differences? To have a different outcome. So you have to change something to have a different outcome with our knowing. And a good example would be, I could be anywhere and all of a sudden it's like somebody walks in and I know that I know them, or I need to know them, or, they're important to me. So I can ask myself, is this my gut? Is this my intuition? Or is this, from a past? And so it could be connected to any certain way. It could just be the smell of somebody's perfume. That's what you could be tying into in your gut, because it deals with relationship rather than that intuition, which is the sense of knowing. And knowing just is. That's the only, and the best way I can describe it is, there is no rhyme nor reason to your intuition. It just is there. And I can tell you without a word of a lie, and you can ask anybody that knows me, and they will tell you that I'm very much guided by intuition. And so with that, I've got 3 groups. And so I'm going to roll the dice so we can get a number, and we can get a stone. So pile number 1 is this. I don't know the name of the stone, but I do believe it's Flourite, because it's very similar to my Flourite piece. So group number 1, this is Flourite, and the number that you've drawn is the number of courage, and that's a smoky color. So first, right off the hop, I'm going to say is that you're going to really need a lot of courage today to step up, to, own, to be, well, discover more or uncover more. But I think that this is about, at this point, it seems to be about blending in and owning your gifts. So group number 1 is the Flourite and the number 5. Group number 2 is the pink stone, pink and white striped. And oops, and it just fell at me. And so it's the pink and white, because I'm looking at the waves in it. And so pink and white would mean it's time to clarify should we do that? And it's coming with a pink stone. Interesting. It's coming with the number 3, and the number 3 is about unity. So I most likely within a relationship, within a situation, and it could be on any level, is that you're needing to come together to start working together. Okay, so that's pile number 2. With the 3s down. And the final pile, and I did 2, is the Starfish. I love the Starfish. And the yellow stone. I don't know, I just find it very beautiful today. I've been wearing it for a little while. Yellow is the color of the solar plexus. So this could be in regards to, well, the last part of it is the 7, and it's blue. So that's speaking your truth. 7 is knowledge. So gain more knowledge or more insight into the situation, and really start relying on your intuition. So trust yourself. If you think something's off, it's kind of like if you hear red flags, listen to the red flags. So pile number 1, the Flourite. Pile number 2, the pink rock, and number 3. And pile number 3, is the Starfish and the yellow rock with the number 7. And so we're going to start with pile number 1 right away. And so I really am guided to, use the cards that are necessary at this time. And so right now I'm guided to using, because I think that lots of today is about relationships and understanding them better. So let's find out. You possibly have been having some sort of issue within a relationship, maybe not getting the full story of it. That's my word, is getting the full story and understanding. There's something that has been missing outside of it, and so you, without being aware of what it has been missing, you're not being able to respond correctly. So really do that work and find out what possibly could be missing, what possibly could be being left out, so that you can build a strong and stable relationship. And what I'm going to say is that you're going to try within this relationship to build it, and keep trying. Just keep going at it, because it's going to, but don't rely on, I also talk a little bit about luck a lot. And this is going to be what works for you, is really not, it doesn't work for somebody else. And that is the truth within life, period. It doesn't work for all of us, and that's what makes us unique, is that we can listen to what's happening with others, but we have a unique set of circumstances. So let's find out what is going on within relationships, the relationship that you need, whether it be work, a love relationship, a home relationship, whatever that is. Let's find out what's going on. Okay, so we're going to start out with what? Oh, okay, the first card that comes up is the card of suppression, is what are you not doing? And the card in that position is the Dancer of Reconciliation. So, being in the position of what are you resisting? And I just heard you need to surrender to a reconciliation. So what's happening within this relationship with this I think it's with this person, is that they kind of come in and They want to reconcile, and it's almost like what they call a runner-chaser relationship, is that you both try certain things, and really, there's not a common denominator. And without the common denominator, makes it just a dance. And so rather it being the dance, what you want is to make it real. And so you're avoiding that because it's easier to take the dance or have the dance than look into the relationship, like really deeply look at it. And you have to if you're going to look at it with reconciliation in mind. Don't look at it with hate or with being angry. You have to step outside of that energy and focus on all aspects and what it is you truly want within that relationship. That's what's going to move you forward. So right now you're not willing to take that dance to be that person that is so necessary at this time. So make the choice, and it is your choice. You can listen to me or not, but it is your choice to decide whether you reconcile. And if you decide you're not going to reconcile, let it go. Just release it and start somewhere fresh. So the two cards, nice. Wow. Okay. So the two cards that are going to balance this whole reconciliation, if that's what you choose. First is the ancestors' hope. So you're being guided by past loved ones or people within your soul community to remember that there's always hope. And so if you've lost that hope, get quiet and discover those little areas in your life that you've become really fearful. You've become, you back away from, or you're angry about something, and realize that there's still hope. Okay? There's can always be hope, but then you have to plant the seeds in the right direction. So that is actually being balanced by the dancer of inspiration. So with hope and inspiration, it can be balanced because if you've made the choice to reconcile, so I'll do both scenarios. If you've made the choice to reconcile, you have to have hope within your heart and within your inner knowing. And then become inspired by, certain things that come along, and almost like reigniting that chance again, that opportunity. Having that hope gives you a whole sense, and it changes your energy. And once you've changed that energy, everything around you is going to change. Now, on the other side, if you choose not to commit to the relationship, then find hope elsewhere. Know that something's going to come along, and then balance that off by finding the inspiration within yourself, finding that a gift within yourself, finding the love and the joy and the fun, finding that inspiration. Do things that inspire you, that you're passionate about. So even if you're not going to be within that relationship, you can still be passionate about your life, because you're the only one that gets to live your life. And so the next card, okay, wow, two cards come up. Sorry, it's meditation card. And so the first part comes up is the shaman of courage. So I'm going to say right off the hop, I didn't say this was going to be an easy journey. It does require courage, because we have to move out of the past. We have to move outside of the fear. We have to move outside of what has held us back. So when we're meditating, have that courage to just focus on love. And so this balance comes from knowing that there is only love. Only love is real. Everything else is just there. It's all love. So it's either love or it's fear. So you base it, love is on a level playing field, but when we get fear, this tops. So it stagnates, so climbing up the hill. So you have to have that courage. And if it's in love, then this can just float off. Well, it's just silly. Anyway, so it's when you're meditating, remember that love within yourself. Remember that love that you shared. Remember all the good times that you had with others that that you can reflect upon and live in. Remember that energy, and that's what changes your aura. That's what cleanses your aura, is remembrance, a lot of the good memories. So, okay, so the card that represents the position of your body and what your body's going through. And that is the card of the Spirit of challenge. And so the challenge is going to be, and on either side, whether you say yes and move forward, or you say no and I'm not going to do this anymore. The challenge becomes listening to yourself and doing, setting the attention, and then be inspired and motivated to take the steps, the action steps, literally. And that's going through all the feelings and emotions, and oh, maybe I feel like this right now, and maybe I feel like that. So it may be a balancing or an up and down of emotions, but try to lessen and lessen and lessen the fear. So always asking your fear, where is this coming from? Like, where exactly is this fear sitting? Is it sitting within this relationship, or is it sitting in a different relationship that I was in before? And that's why, because you're going to start asking yourself, that's what this question, because it's a challenge card. So it's asking you to ask questions. Ask questions of yourself, ask questions of the relationship, ask questions so that you can walk tall and proud, representing your truth. But you're walking tall and proud in your vessel. Our bodies are our vessel, and they're all energies of how we're feeling and being at this particular time. So your body is going through adjustments, your body's going through change, your body's going through all of these different things that it needs to at this time so that you can move forward, because you have to understand yourself better. So the card that's, wow, I love this card. So the card that's in the position of, I call your thinker, your brain, your thinker, is the shaman of purification. So the shaman, when the shamans appear, shamans are, say, like guides. They come in and they help us to clear, to heal. So the shaman of purification is saying, go back and start purifying yourself, your love, your guidance, so to speak. And I'm going to read a little bit about this card because it's because the card is a little bit it speaks better when I can, I gotta be able to find it though. That's the key of all of it. Hang on. So the shaman of purification brings cleansing and balm to the troubled spirit and the troubled heart. And so I journey through the mazes of life to discover those elements which, for whatever reason, may put blemishes on your peace of mind. So that's really what I've been talking about. So your brain has to move past logic and go back and just say, I need to heal these parts of my head that are stopping me, that are blocking me. And it has to be a full, complete purification. It can't just be, oh, I've done, a little bit of that and now I'm healed. You've got to do a real clarification, a clarity of, your thinker, and take out the things that are blocking those thoughts to move forward. They're halting those stops. It's like you have a lineup of thoughts or things that you want to do, intentions that you'd like to set, but they're being stopped. It's like they're being held back until you make the choice to purify and cleanse. And this will be aided with, say, a shaman, or with a hierophant, but somebody of a higher value, a higher teacher is, wow, sure gonna help you out with this. And this whole journey that you are on, and the card in regards to your heart is the spirit of truth. And so with that card appearing, it really, this is about your learning or on this process of moving forward into truth rather than fear. And so when we release the fear, we're no longer fearful of speaking our truth. And one of the greatest lessons I have learned this year is that fear does come from a lack of knowledge or of wanting to acquire more knowledge or being bullied, and so that kind of makes us sit in that fear. If you were a child that was constantly shamed or blamed or felt guilty, then you take on all of the accountability, when in truth it's not yours to take on. So you're purifying all these thoughts, and with the motivator being love, is to find your truth and then start speaking. It's moving through the smoky area and having the courage to literally speak your truth. Own your truth. And then once you start speaking it, so there's 4 stages of truthfulness. And the first stage is to be honest with ourselves about ourselves. The second stage is to be honest with ourselves to others about ourselves. So we often put on, a facade. And so don't be honest with yourself about yourself. See the truth within. And so step outside of that, that fear. And, you've got so many challenges here, but the challenge is all to step outside of the fear and to recognize. And it's almost like you're afraid to stop living this life that you're so accustomed, the life that's held you back. And your life isn't meant to be like that. Your life is meant to be whole and complete and filled with love and filled with joy and happiness, but, inspiration and hope. So reconcile what needs to be reconciled or let it go and make that choice. Face that that ability that you have that's only your ability. And so it's like you're separating yourself from, perhaps what you've learned or, where you've been. So the final card that comes out within this part of the deck is the Shaman of Wisdom. And I'd love to show you my foot, but that's what you're going for, is in truth, is to find true wisdom within yourself. I have 3 tattoos, and I'm getting more. But my first tattoo that I got is Divine Wisdom. And divine wisdom is the wisdom of knowing, aligned with the wisdom of doing and learning and experiencing. You don't gain wisdom by reading a book. You gain wisdom by giving thought to it, by processing. Wisdom is extra steps. You can be really knowledgeable, but being wise is really different. But that's when you've really learned to control, I'm going to say, your ego, to live on the ego side that is filled with love and joy and inspiration and all of those things that it's necessary. So for you, it's this reading is so much about a personal relationship, but it's also about a relationship with yourself first, and that's what's going to heal the relationship. So I'm going to pull 3 of these cards. This is from the Women's Oracle deck. And so the first card is the Power of Support. And so what this is trying to acknowledge is that I'm actually sensing that at some point you were, because of the things that you'd experienced, I don't think that you were that receptive to people supporting you, because I think in your past you were left unsupported or didn't feel that supported. And so you've had to learn to go within to find your support. Perhaps if you had a friend or were in a marriage or, at work, and if that is the case, then you're almost afraid to look towards support because you weren't supported. But when you look back, you'll know who you can trust to be supported by, and also know that if you're blocking off your wisdom and your gut, if you're blocking off your solar plexus, if you're not opening up these things up to see, then you're not allowing people in to help you. So understand the power of support, but also understand the power of support from spirit. Super important. And what really needs to be healed at this time, and I know that we've talked about it much, is your heart needs to heal. And this is a clear, if you're having trouble with a relationship or in a relationship and can't get to that relationship, the thing is your heart needs to heal. And that is a courageous journey that brings brings you to a place of personal awakening and a deeper relationship with yourself. And once you have that clarity and that relationship with yourself, you can therefore have room to bring in a relationship of another. And from there, we move into our creative power. And so when we own ourselves, we also, there becomes a word that, I say I'm weird or I'm crazy. And I like those terms. To me, it's empowering to be different. I don't want to be the same. I never wanted to be the same. I was the little girl that looked for the four-leaf clovers, that walked out into nature and just wanted to experience. I love the feel of nature on my body. My dog and I go down and sit by the river almost every morning, and I love it so much just to hear the water go by and have that breeze and just taking that all in and healing the heart. I've had a journey the last 2 years of healing my heart through a relationship that I really thought that would probably last forever. And I know that that was fear-based and that I wasn't looking clearly. And, so I've had to move forward, and I have, and I've healed my heart, and I've healed my soul, and I've healed my journey. And when I open up to another, I have to be creative and courageous within doing that, because of, all of what I did experience. It took a lot of healing to do that. In order to face all of those things, it does take a lot of creative power and courage. And invest in yourself, invest in that part of the journey. Step out of codependency into independence. And so a little bit of a challenge that, as being a woman, a female side, a feminine side, is that, I always wanted to be independent and I want to be supportive, yet I want to be in a loving, nurturing relationship. So I know the relationship that I want to be in. So I am moving towards, and I am not wavering from those things that are super important to me within a relationship. I am focused on that, and I'm not focused on the fear from past relationships, and they go back from a young age. And so it's embracing myself within that. So I just pulled from the beginning one card from the Romance Angel deck, and to recapture romance, or this is any kind of relationship that this is in for, to be more playful and quit being so serious, as I'm serious in these videos, and I am too, but be more playful within your relationship, be more playful within yourself. And possibly you're not used to being playful. Excuse me. Whoa, excuse me. You're not used to being playful, and so what you've ended up doing is rejecting. And so the next card that comes up is unrequited love. And so you've been rejecting, and that rejection comes from a place of fear, of not knowing or understanding or fully being able to commit or connect. And so the final card in this part is the Romance Angel, is the card of forgiving and learning. everything we do is about learning and lessons, but we can't go into it thinking, okay, we can't go into it just thinking that it's about forgiving and, and about lessons. We just have to go into it about experiencing life. And when you're within that and knowing sort of in the back of your mind that this is about a lesson and that there is much to learn. And so what is that lesson and how can I move forward? And so, okay, there's another aspect within this part is that somebody within this relationship, within this connection, that's a better word to use, within this connection is really, I'm not going to say is wearing a false mask or but they're not quite committed. And it's because so much of what they have personally lost is trying to find the depths of within their heart. And so allowing them to do it. And meanwhile, you're frustrated, but Spirit is there helping. So going back to the aspect of, you know what, reconcile or not, make the choice. Is it worth it? And so, sorry, and I don't make these silly things up, but there is a choice to make, and that's the next card that came up, is make this choice, making a choice. And if you see right here, neither side is a bad choice. It's just a choice. And one might be more appealing because of the colors. The other one might be appealing because of the stability within. But there is a choice to make. So sit back and see the beauty on both sides and learn to forgive and to learn and to grow and to see which choice that you want to make. You get to make that choice. And you actually will make the choice because, wow, the final card here is the making the field of dreams. And so that's when you're making the choice. Prior to making the choice, go back into looking at, where have your dreams always been, or what is the basis of your dreams, and what have you truly dreamt as a child? What did you want to be? Where did you want to go? And this may not just be about career or about what is it that you truly wanted? What was that passionate side of you? I think as a society, we need to go back to the passion and find that passion and start living our lives with passion, rather than out of fear and out of what's holding us back. So the final cards are messages that you're going to receive. Spirit's trying to tell you what Spirit trying to tell you about a certain relationship or a certain person within this. So Spirit, what are you trying to tell pile 1? And the first card is, sorry, sort of like made me laugh, but first card is, I left because you told me to. And that may not have been, you might be saying, no, I didn't, no, I didn't, no, I didn't, no, I didn't. But I think that there is an element of truth here, and that not everything that is told from a place of love. It could have been a place of fear that, it could have just, you told them by, love it. You told them by, wow. Sorry, I'll keep saying it one more time. You told them by feeling or by, a message, and by, whatever it was, they felt that they had to leave. And right now, really importantly, is that somebody is going to step up, and there is going to be an apology or a gift of an offering of some sort. So take that offer and then make their choices. You can take the offer and then say, you know what, I really need to think about that, and that's okay. The second card is, I am addicted to you. So there may be some fear within this, but it also may represent that there's a little bit of not knowing with the full capacity of this relationship. So some of the relationship is based on, say, a dream or thoughts of what it could be like. So really, you know, step back and say, we got to slow down if you begin this relationship or take on to reconcile, to understand and know what it is that you truly are addicted to. Are you addicted to a love within that relationship? Are you addicted to, what is it that you're addicted to? What you want, you don't want to be addicted. That becomes codependent. You want to be truly, unconditionally in love without any expectation. And that means without any expectation. Just be. I don't want to heal somebody outside of my career. I don't want to heal somebody. I want them to either want to heal together, to journey together, or but I want them to present the truth. The next card comes up is no. No means no, is just what I heard. And so I think that this message comes up because this is kind of funny, the message they just told me. No means no. No means no. But I think that there was a message that there was no because of the fear, because of the addiction, not the addiction to you, but because you asked them to leave, they can't get past certain areas. So whether that's, you know, in a relationship, within a family, like it could be, you know what, I would say that the worst thing that your kids do when they're 5 years old or 4 years old is say, I hate you, mommy. That's the worst thing in the entire world that you can ever hear. And that's sort of what this person heard from you. And so what they heard was a big fat no, when I don't even know if that existed. Oh, too funny. Okay. I actually knew this card was going to be here. But the final card is yes. And so this fear, first of all, from you needs to be conquered, but from the person that you're dealing with needs to be conquered as well, no matter what kind of relationship that is. It's work. You got to put in that work. So do the work and step outside of that addiction and know what it is that you really, truly want within that relationship. Know how far that you want to take it to be... to take it to the levels of, you know what you want from within that relationship, and you're going to get the yes, but you have to change that vibration that in some aspects has been following you around. I just have to pick up 2 cards from the Mystic Tarot because it keeps saying that to do it. And so the first one is yes. Okay, the first card is the Queen of Pentacles, and oh my God. Okay, the second card is the Emperor. So here we have almost 2 energies, but this is in regards to the Queen of Pentacles sits in their power. This is someone with integrity. This is someone that offers, that has that ability to offer. So I believe that the 2 people in this, in group 1, you know, you have this woman that's, you know, really worked because she has the grapes at this point, and she is sitting in a space that is so calm and beautiful, and she really loves nature. And so she's got to that place of being content where she's at, and she's really earned that. The Emperor, and they're in opposite hands, so she's holding money. But if you notice, this is really interesting that he's holding the card of the world, that he's holding the world, and in his other hand he's holding sticks. And so they're lightning bolts, and so I'm seeing there's also the hawk that's on his shoulder. So it's being able to see from a different perspective. And so I do think that part of this is about seeing things from a different perspective. That's what his journey is bringing him to, is seeing things differently. And so is it up to you? No, it's just to put those little, you know, ideas of what you're not going to take or not going to accept, and living your life from a different perspective. And so that's my messages for you, pile number 1. And I hope that you have liked this. So if you have, then like and subscribe to my video. below. And we will get on to pile number 2. Now, pile number 2, you are the pink. You chose the pink. And the pink stone. We're going to start. Now, the first thing that comes to mind when I'm seeing your cards, and I'm going to do from a completely different deck. How much fun is that? This is from I have the book. I never know what it is. The Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. So we're going to uncover what's hidden, and that's basically what my readings do, and help you through. So what are you suppressing? Wow. Woohoo! What you're suppressing is the card of the One Ring Circus. Clear as mud? Yep, it is. You're not grounding yourself, but you're not grounding yourself on too much space. That's the first thing. And you're holding on to, oh gosh, there is, you know what, you're seeing so much of what's going on, but you're alone at sea. Or you're alone, you're alone, that you're, you have found your power, you have found who you are, but in doing so, there's been a lot of, chaos around you. And that could be the situations that we're all in at this point, but there's a lot of chaos around you. So rather than getting involved in the chaos, you step back, and now you're kind of alone. And, excuse me, Watson, quiet, please. Lie down. Thank you. Sorry about that. It's my dog. I think he's going to do it again. So what you're suppressing or, resisting at this time is being comfortable in this spot where you can see all what's going on, all the chaos that's around. And it's the person that sits at the back of the room that just watches. And if you can actually literally watch everybody that's around you, you'll see their what they're going through, what their issues are. And you'll be able to see a better perspective of why and what's going on within the whole situation, within the experience. I'm getting a family unit, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a family unit. A family unit can also represent where you're working. But I do a huge context of a family unit. So the cards of the balance. Okay, so what's going on here within pile number 2 is that from here, there might have been words spoken, there might have been adversity that you really had to face and walk away from. And so there is a measure of healing. So, if this is you or other people, there needs to be time to heal. And to note, it's actually really cute because it's a raccoon and I'm not sure it's a fox or a coyote. Kind of looks in between, but it's small like a fox. And but seeing how they get along, that they're learning the differences, they're learning their own importance in the world, their own importance within the family, within the familiar, whatever the word is, situation. But that's also being balanced by separating yourself, the ghost lands. So I do believe, and it's say somewhere along the lines, the One Ring Circus, where you're off to heal. That's what you need to be doing. So it's kind of like get off your butt and actually heal, do that healing process. And the answer to the question of it takes as long as it takes, you've got to heal yourself. You've got to go into places that may seem a little troubling or a little bit more troubling. And you may need to talk to somebody and ask them what is truly, truly going on within, what is it with you? And can I help you to heal? And that's sort of what needs to be done within this situation. The meditation card, is that from doing so, you're going to find a brand new sense of our values, and being able to look and nurture your life with those field of dreams and putting those intentions out. And if you can look, there's the pixie fairies, and then they're sending them off and setting them off into the intentions. And I'm pretty sure you can't see the little flying intentions, but setting it off. And so it's setting your intentions, it's saying your prayers, whatever it is that you do, that's what you need to do. I'm actually going to go with a different deck to find out those three aspects of your body, your thinker, and your okay. So this card is very much about a family situation, and however that resonates with you is how it is. But I personally think it's geared more towards the people that are having issues within the family. And this card that comes in within the feelings of your body is spirit of family. And so you're being asked to acknowledge and to know why your family is important. To go back to the basics and get to know that. So if I go back to the wisdom of the wolf, and the wolf, some people will see it as a loner, but quite honestly, the wolf runs in packs, and they all know their part within that family, within their pack. And they all play that role because they know that that role is super important for them, to them, with them. And so understand how you may be, addressing somebody, or somebody may be afraid, but there's, whether there's fear, anger, judgment, be aware of that and start healing that, okay? Now, the next position is the position of your thinker. And the card is of frustration. And so it's moving away from that frustration. And how do you do so? You move away from being honest within yourself and knowing what's important. And so what's going on, and maybe you're frustrated because we haven't gotten out of this situation, or you're frustrated with somebody having done something and you don't know what to do with it, or you're frustrated not being able to help. And the reality is that you can help yourself, and you can mentor others, and you can be the guiding force for others, but you can't change others. So keep the communication open, and know also that frustration sometimes becomes this dance. That's why it's the dancer of frustration, is you can go on this, it's good and then it's bad and then it's good. But it's I do not believe in 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And I think some people say 1 step forward and 2 steps back, which makes me more angry. Because the truth is there's always a gain. So there's 1 step forward, and that's where you're at. And from that space, different things can happen. And I hope that made sense. But you stay in that space, and in that space is where all of the reality, all of the love, all of the nurturing, all of the you're good, and then all of a sudden it's too much, and so then you get frustrated again. But instead, if you can become calm and then say, okay, I'm still here, so I'm going to move 1 step forward, and each step, by the time you're 16 steps ahead, but you haven't come back, because you don't. I don't believe you've always gained. Always see the gain in a situation. And I can say in all honesty that I understand that better than most people might know, and it's through my work. And I work with some people that it can be very frustrating, and I know that you do have to set out a motivation, you have to set out experience and love, and know that, give that praise and glory, and to that person or to yourself, knowing that you've got to keep moving, but don't get frustrated and stop. Keep going. So the next card is, yes, I think I said, and nurture. So this is very much about nurturing, and this is the card of the heart. And so you really need to nurture your heart. And so nurturing your heart, part of that becomes when you're nurturing another, or whether you're in a situation within your family that needs to be healed, then to nurture your own heart, because we have our own healing that we do, that we embrace, that we see. And so it's the spirit of nature, which is connected to this nature, spirit of nurture, which is connected to the spirit of family. And so nurture those so that you can see these here all walk together. It's a family that walks together. I'll say what my mother would say at this point, is a family that prays together, stays together. Sort of true. It is true. Now, the final card in the position of your spirit's journey at this time, and it's the Dancer of Life. And so understand that this is life. This is life. And we're here to learn lessons, and we're here to build relationships, and we're here to communicate. This is all part of life. We're here to do what we're most passionate about. We're here to live. We're here to live a life of love, a life of nurturing, of growth. And sorry, that just scared the daylights out of me, and I think that it would probably be the male person, but it did scare the daylights out of me. Sorry. And so do that dance of love, that dance of life, and choose and own and heal so that you can live that life that you have earned and deserve. And so I'll get a couple messages for you. And so the partner or family within there, what are they? Okay, oh wow. Okay, so there's, the 2 cards is the balance, that's Libra. Balance, so what you're needing to find, and this is really about Cupid's arrow, really is that it's love that's missing, love that's being needed, that's necessary to be changed. And there may have been a little cause of heartache or heartbreak, and it's to find the balance. And I'm getting that there's a person, one certain person, wow, that is really, might have been heartbroken in some sense, or feel that way. They may have a softer heart or harder heart, but they have to find that. But the truth is that what they want to say is that I want you. I want you for who you are. Or maybe that's what you need to say to them, is that I want you. And I chose you, and I want you. And so sometimes you've got to say what you mean. And wow, I'm obsessed with your body. And so I'm not quite within this relationship. And it can be so much that I'm seeing. And somehow I'm seeing within this card, there's they feel overwhelmed with your presence. And that's not always to do with a love romantic relationship. Throughout my life, I have had so many people, because of the energy that and people will say, I've actually had somebody say, I knew from the moment I met you that you were special. This was a female friend. It wasn't a relationship, but I've had a lot of people say that I know you're special. I know that you're this. And so it's that energy, and they get drawn into you. And so it's not necessarily always a relationship, romantic relationship. It can be within your family, but people can fear that that energy, or they can be drawn into it. But it's recognizing and owning your own. And yes, you can want to be part of that party, or they can want to be part of your party. But you both need to stand strong in your own, and own who you are. I'm too afraid to talk to you. Okay, so there is a fear of, in the final card, I'm too afraid to talk to you. And so I think what that's kind of, I'm not thinking, I say that a lot, I know. What that's saying is that, so when things, communication breaks down, people become afraid to talk. And so it may be that because of this energy, and because they're obsessed with you, and if this is a romantic relationship, this is why they're afraid to talk to you. And what they're going off of, the fact that you already know. You know. And so that scares them too, because and somehow they don't think that's completely right, or that's correct. So let me get 2 more messages. These 2 piles put together as one. And so I'm going to, I don't know why I did that, but I did. Okay, so you need to, okay, build your team in your home, on your job, and in your personal life and your spiritual life. Surround yourself with positive people, empowering people who support, motivate, and challenge you. Strengthen yourself by building your team. So, your family, your workplace, your relationship, build it, build it. Remember that you are replaceable. Every single one of you within the relationship is irreplaceable. There is nobody else like you. Do you want, do what you do to the best of your abilities, because nobody does it quite like you. And take pride in what you do. And in doing so, people see that you are value. You may feel like you're not being valued. So this is about building up the team and being in that place to be irreplaceable. That's not an arrogant statement, but it's be irreplaceable. Be who you are. It's way easier than being somebody that you're not. And so it's really important to remember to forget, forgive. Not because you should, but because you need to heal and move on. And you can't heal until you have said, I'm sorry. And so once you've done that, let it go. Don't say, I'm sorry, I forgive you, and then remember and keep bringing it up. Don't do that. Remember to forget. The next message is, there's just two more. It's a big, huge pile. And the next message that we're getting is practice saying no. And so understand, because this card comes up because often we feel overwhelmed or burdened with so many commitments or things that, come up, because we may not understand that we are irreplaceable and that we haven't built up a solid team. And so you keep clinging and hanging on to things. And this is about practicing no. And so you can't be and do everything to everyone every single time. Saying no doesn't make yourself bad or selfish at all. It makes you balanced. And you're allowed to say no. So say no. The final card is to empower your thoughts and your dreams. Set your intentions. We're all creative and we're all blessed with an imagination. It's how you yourself can use it. Empower your thoughts and your dreams to come true. Make them so that no matter what happens, they have no other choice but to create and be brought into fruition within your world. Okay, pile number 2. That is your pile you're reading. And so we're going to go to pile number 3, which is the Starfish, the 7 of talks, that's what I say, sorry, speaking, and the YellowStone. And I love the YellowStone so much. So we know this is about speaking from the heart and your intuition. And so having said that, I'm going to, I'm kind of like using this deck to bring the messages forward. It's actually worked out really good. This is the wisdom of the hidden realms. I know it. Okay. So what do you... Wow. Okay. Pile number 3. What are you suppressing? Your power. You are suppressing your power. This is the master of... the wizard of awareness, not just the master of awareness. This is the magician. So you have this power. You have this, you're a star seed. You're a, that person that can, you are. And right now you have all these opportunities of growth and to move forward, and you're sort of sitting in your thinking, and so you need to start using that wand. It's sort of like you're walking around with the wand, the staff in your hand, and it's energizing up, but you're not using it. So what we're saying here is it's time to use it. So own your gifts. Easy peasy, own your gifts and start using it. Wow. Okay, so it's kind of like you're waiting there to be rescued. Poor pitiful me. But sorry, I apologize for that. But I think you're in this situation that you do know your gifts, but you're waiting for that rescue. You're waiting for something to help, something to come along. But what it is the two cards of balance are the sacred pool. And so understand there's so much beauty in this card. If you can see it, it's just an incredibly gorgeous card. And you can see so many different things in it. But the idea of the sacred pool is that sacred pool is within us all. And so even wherever it is for you that you go to re-energize, to re-nurture yourself, go there. Who's going to rescue you? You are the only one that's going to rescue yourself. So set the intention that you know that you are the magician, that you are that special factor, and that you tap into that pool within yourself, that you can rescue yourself. I don't even know if you need that much rescuing, that you just think that you need rescuing. It sounds like people have told you, you've been this certain way and you don't need to be rescued. Perhaps they do, but that's their journey and their problem, but you don't need to be rescued. So the card of meditation itself is, as the card is stuck in the mud. And so look at this card, really. I love this card. I like all these cards, actually. So when we're talking about the Wizard of Awareness, so here you are, and it's having to find your own way, your own sense of self. And wow. Okay, so very clearly in this card, for pile number 3, what this is about is that you are this little bird sitting on top in the back of this elephant, and the elephant represents your intuition, your knowing. Elephants have these incredible memories, but not just memories of this past. They have memories of past gone by. Elephant spirit is typically matriarchal, so it's handed down. But the elephant knows that it's not stuck, that it has to keep going, and that the weight of the bird is it's perhaps that what you came to this point of realization of, that you do have this ability to manifest, to bring into fruition, or to bring forth what you want. And so you feel a little bit stuck. So then a bird lands on you and it's like, hey, no, I'm really stuck. Well, you're not really stuck, because it's just a bird, and the bird is part of you. And the bird is a messenger for you, just saying, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, and you can do it. Just keep walking forward, slow. You're not stuck. You are not stuck. You have to just keep going. So when you're into meditation, see yourself moving forward, but see yourself, I'm wearing the turtle too, so we just know sometimes it's a slow process. So pile 3, you may be in this slow process of movement forward. And so the next 3 cards I'm going to pull out, the next card is in regards to you. Next card is in regards to your body, and it's about making a choice. And so it's to, and a lot of people that have, say, a spiritual gift, or a motherly gift, and that's a gift, or a gift of gab, whatever the gifts are. But this is about you owning who you are, and then making a choice of how to apply it. Apply it where you want to apply it. Learn how you want to apply it. I know that my sister is very gifted. As in my niece and my other nieces, my aunt. It comes from family, but my sister's very gifted. It's not something that she chooses or wants to do, but she chooses to use it in a different way, not really knowing that that's what she's doing, if that makes sense. People come to her all the time, the same as they come to me, and the same they come to my niece, and my other niece, and they just, because they know. So it's how you choose, but they also work jobs outside of that. That's not their main thing. It just means they're better helpers, and some people are. There's no question about that. I choose to do this as a means of giving back to the Creator who gave me this gift. The next card is the card of your thinker. Okay, so there had been a lot of, chaos going through, and you've gone through a lot. I love this, sorry, this stone, and it reminds me of an angel, and I love it so much, but it's also a twin flame stone, and therefore I love it even more. Okay, so you've gone through a lot of stormy fields to get to where you are, but the storm is dissipating and it's passing, and it really, had you in a place that upheavaled, new word, that upheavaled lots that was around you, and finding that love within yourself so that you can delve into that sacred pool within you to make your decisions, to make this choice, to move forward within your life. Wow. And the final card is the card of education with an egret there, and then somebody dancing. So this is the card of the heart, which is really interesting that it comes up as education, because the feeling that I'm getting, and it's not just, you don't just get it from a book, yet it's to somehow find that sacred pool. Almost, I think you're going to pick up a book, or pick up a reading, or pick something up that becomes really important to a lesson that you need to learn, but you need to, this something in this egret as well that's asking you to I think you might be encouraged to expand your knowledge, expand your growth. And this does sit in the heart. It really does. So again, it goes back to, reread that, but read it from the heart. Okay, so maybe even somebody sent you a message, and that message was to be based in the heart, and you took it in a different manner. And so educate that. So you may still seem a little bit alone, but you have that wizard of awareness, that integrity, that sense of self that will be led to be guided to what you need to know. Okay, so I picked one card because I just felt the need to pick it. And then I picked another card, and holy cripes, 2 cards are beautifully magnificent. And the first one is coming to life. And so you are just coming to life, and just embrace that. So it may have been a slow process, and you've dealt with so much as you've moved into this process, but you are coming to life. So allow it, and allow it to start with this wizard, this manifestation, and really be proud within that. And coming, realize all you've come through, and all that you have seen, and all that where you've been. And the final card there is the field of dreams. And so know that all that you want, and so sit in there and put it out into spirit. And once you start coming alive and feeling the dream, and feeling, taking ownership of it, and being who you are meant to be, it'll all start coming into place, and just start, I would never say that people are not going to ever experience disarray or discord, or any of that again, because you're always going to come up with certain whoa, that's the wow, oh wow, I'm getting a feeling that there actually also is a relationship it's going in circles, is what I'm going to say. And you mirror one another. And so within this relationship, this can be completely different. There needs to be some, it's like you were wowed, but you need to communicate. You need to speak your, oh, yes, you do. Oh, education. Yeah, sorry. Apologize, but we did have the 7, which is about education, and blue, which is about speaking, but it's also about your love, and this is also about listening to your intuition. And that intuition is that wizard of awareness. You need to speak your truth. That's who you are, is speaking. Be thoughtful, be imaginative, be creative. The other card is keep your eye on the prize, know where you want to go, be proud, be energized. And this is the wisdom of the tiger, and have that push through adrenaline and spirit and inspiration, and do that. The other side of it is the wisdom, the way of the fox, and the fox can be very cunning. And so the gift of the fox is the ability to be one within the environment and moving swiftly, finding your way around obstacles. That is a gift that you have attained through your journey. You've become more observant of everything that surrounds you. And so when you're moving forward, move forward with confidence. And part of that might have been because of a deceit that's happened, and now you're able to see through that deceit. So you've got these, from the wisdom of the tiger, and those really intense eyes, you're able to see through to the truth of somebody else. Whoa, see through to the truth of somebody else, and that becomes a breakthrough for you and your energy. And you'll be able to see. It's such a it's a blessing and a curse, is kind of what I'm going to say. When you learn to, when you know that you can see through somebody else's mask, because so many people really try to hide that mask, and it's something that you've done, so it's for yourself, learning to do it. So I'm going to check the romance angels, because I got a feeling of a romantic connection, almost a give and take chase sort of thing. And so the first question is, it's a past life relationship. That's where there's a chase, and that's why it's so familiar. And it's so, upon meeting one another, it was like, wow. But I'm not sure if it's gone anywhere, because you're still in this chase of back and forth, round and round and round and round and round. And getting, jump off that. That's just really tired. That becomes that, that rescue is that, that becomes a rescue. But what it's a little bit different of is they can't rescue you. You have to make certain choices that we talked about to rescue yourself. Don't expect. But you do know one another from your past life, and it's actually it's actually about you having ownership and being this wizard of awareness. And now it's the unicorn, and so it's the card of free yourself. And I've actually never pulled this card before, but it's really about freeing yourself from, and this isn't a box, I get it, but it's almost as though it's a merry-go-round. And it seems like the unicorn, and that's the master of awareness, or the wizard of awareness, or the magician. And you've been put in a box, and it's now time to get outside of that box and to free yourself, and just to let yourself go and be who you're meant to be. So the next card is about, once you two come together and see that within your relationship. And this doesn't mean you're going to get married and have a honeymoon. You're going to miss the marriage and get the honeymoon. But what this is saying is that there's going to be a real, when you finally do connect, it's because of this past life. It's like, holy, I've been waiting for you my whole entire life. Can you not just get there sooner and be here and be with me? And that's really what you want. And so that relationship would be a coming. So that's it for pile number 3. I thank you very much. If you liked your reading, then please like, and subscribe to my channel. Again, I am Lori-Lynn, and I go on Facebook under the name of Spirit Within Us. I also, I do private readings, and I do them through Zoom because we're not in Winnipeg, we're not allowed to have people in our homes, and so I've done them over Zoom. But I really like this platform, so often when I do readings now, what I'll do is I'll tape them and I'll put them on into a private link on YouTube, and I send them out, and that's actually been quite successful. People have really liked that. Anyways, I am on to start my day, and so namaste, God bless, God is good, love you, and thank you very much for being at my channel, and have an amazing, amazing, amazing day.